the summertime, a lot of people outside, including being on the water, on the lakes, and the boats specifically. We want to talk about boating safety. We want to be proactive so that we don't have to be reactive. So joining the Splash Live right now to talk a little bit more about boating safety here in West Bloomfield community and Oakland County in general, we have Lieutenant Brian Burwell of Specialized Units Patrol Services Division for Oakland County, or Oakland Sheriff's Office, excuse me. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you. How are you today?
Doing great myself. Thank you so much for joining us with your time, your education, because we're talking about a very important issue. We're talking about heavy machinery, people operating them on our waters, and actually we've already had some incidents recently. Just to give a little bit more perspective, can you just talk briefly about those recent incidents just to put it in perspective?
Sheriff's Office has two recent boating accidents that occurred on Orchard Lake. No fatalities, no injuries.
Good.
But anytime the weather's warming up and people are taking boats out, boater safety, it starts right at the dock. We tell people, and even before you leave your driveway, if you're towing a boat with, checking your boat trailer and making sure you're ready to be on the road. And, we always encourage people to take a boater safety class. We offer those free here at the sheriff's office. And that's a free service that we offer a couple classes a month. So, if you're going to venture out on the water, especially this time of year, this is the perfect time before you go out on the water
Correct.
to take a time and open up those cabinets on the boat and make sure you have your rescue gear with you, your
Mhm.
life jackets, and the proper equipment before even going on the water.
Absolutely. Just like we said, make sure you're being proactive before you're being reactive, making sure you're checking all those boxes, dotting your I's, crossing your T's before we even
Yep.
take the boat off our property. Exactly. One thing that you just informed me of that I'm not sure if the community is aware of, that you all offer boater safety classes that are free, correct? Can you talk a little bit more about those classes? What type of information is being shared in those?
Absolutely. If you're going to go out on the water, you need to know the rules. The laws that exist are designed to keep you safe. And one of the things that the sheriff's office offers is the free service. You can go to the DNR website to register for those classes. Our sheriff's office currently, I think we do more classes than anyone in the state with boater safety, hunting education. The Oakland County Office offers those services right here at our search and rescue building.
Hmm.
And we do about 2 to 3 classes a month in various topics. And it's a great family event. You can come on out and get certified in boater safety to understand what those rules on lakes are. And, they focus on a lot of good safety information. We do tell people, life jackets are a lot like your seatbelts. They don't work if you don't wear them.
Hmm.
So it's important to have those life
Hmm.
jackets with you and understand, some of the safety things that go into before you venture out on the water.
Of course. Hey. Of course, Lieutenant. They don't want to wear the life jackets. They're not cool. We out there on the boat. We trying to have a good time. We don't want to wear those. It's cramping our style. I want to show off my outfit, my bikini. But like Lieutenant Burwell just said, please wear it. It's safety. That's what we're here for. We want to make sure that everyone is safe at the end of the day. We want to have a good time too. And we're dealing with boats, something that's different from cars on the road. Now it's a little bit a different type of space and atmosphere, but nonetheless, I feel like we need to be even more careful because we're involving water also. But getting back to boater safety real quick, Lieutenant Burwell, are there any common misconceptions about boater safety and or any common incidents that you have encountered in your career that people seem to commonly or consistently kind of come across?
Well, one thing we always remind people is that, life jackets float and you don't. So I know some people don't like wearing the life jackets. So you said that,
Right.
for various reasons, but, having those life jackets on are, important, especially if you find yourself in the water when you weren't expecting it. One of the common things we do see on the lake is something as simple as running out of fuel on the boat. People on the
Mm.
water, and next thing you know, they don't have enough fuel to get in. Certainly, cell phones are always an issue or other electronic devices. People get out on the water and they're distracted very easily with boating accidents.
Uh,
Oakland County's got a tremendous amount of waterway from our parks, rivers, and streams. It's a great time of the year to get out here and enjoy it. And the sheriff's office just wants to remind people that we want you to be safe out there, and we offer those services. We do have our marine patrols out there.
Mm-hmm.
The sheriff's office maintains a 24/7 response for any rescues on the water. We're also part of the Southeast Michigan Dive Group, which we coordinate. So, but we always want people safe out there, and we try to educate the public as we go along. But a lot of stuff just starts right at the dock, putting the boat into the water where people are injured at that dock, just trying to put their boat in because maybe they're not familiar with the launching or things of that nature.
Right. No, no, no. And I love that you kind of painted that picture and gave a little bit more perspective regarding that too, because I don't want people to necessarily just take that for granted, the whole life jacket thing, or being distracted by a cell phone too. Like you would think that only applies to being on driving on the road, but it goes to being on the water also. But just to reset the show, join the Splash Live right now, Lieutenant Brian Burwell, Specialized Units Patrol Service Division for the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. Join us to talk about boating safety, recent boating incidents that have happened, and how we can all be proactive and make sure we can prevent those accidents from happening in the first place. So, essentially, Lieutenant, if you don't mind, are there any rules, local ordinances, laws that people should be aware of before they take off on these boats or anything like that also?
Well, and there's a few things too that go hand in hand, and it's something as simple as the little things people miss, like checking the weather before they go out in the water. And the two recent accidents we had in Orchard Lake involved sailboats with poor weather conditions that people
Mm,
ventured out into. So checking the weather before you hit the water is something that's very important. The other thing is understanding that you do need a motor safety card if you're operating a PWC. Same thing with operating a boat, so you
yeah.
want to take that motor safety class to educate yourself. But the other thing is as simple as leaving a float plan before you leave your house. If your family doesn't know where you're going, what lake you're on, and you don't return, so leaving what they call a float plan, saying, "Hey, I'm going to head out to Orchard Lake. We're going to park at the Orchard Lake boat launch. We should be on the water by 9 a.m. We're planning on coming off by 5 p.m."
Good point.
If
Good
that
point.
person doesn't return home,
Good point.
you have some information to provide to law enforcement to help locate them.
Yep. No, no, that's a solid point too. Yeah, let someone know where you are, what time you plan on coming back, because that way, if someone is keeping track and notice that they haven't heard from you, you
Absolutely.
can have lost cell phone signal out in the water or whatever, dropped your cell phone, whatever the case may be. That was a solid point. Thank you for bringing that up, also, Lieutenant. So when we're dealing with water and we're dealing with, let's just say, 4th of July, Memorial Day weekend, those are very busy times, right? So we can probably expect
Absolutely.
a lot of people on these waters at the same time. Any advice for boaters, maybe first time boaters or just boaters in general, when it comes to being on the water with with a lot of boats occupying at that time?
Well, we always tell people, and we one of the things to remember is as a boater, as an owner of a boat or as an operator of a boat, if you're taking people out, you have a responsibility to get them back in safely. Certainly, people are consuming alcohol on the water.
Hmm.
Understanding that that alcohol is going to have a greater effect on you on the water. The elements are on you, the sun, the wind. The boat is moving. So sometimes when people are on a lake, they consume a little more because they're dehydrated, and they don't always realize that the alcohol is affecting them more.
Yeah.
And when you're out there on a holiday weekend, and obviously the 4th of July is extremely busy on the lakes, and people are enjoying themselves. But just understanding that that alcohol is going to have a greater effect on you when you are on the water, when the sun's beating down on you,
Hmm.
and remembering you have to get back in safely. And the other thing too that people sometimes forget around the holiday season is the lakes are crowded. And again, if you don't know the rules of the water and you're just out there, one of the things we see in our county that is a problem is with rental boats. If you're going to
Mm.
rent a boat, make sure you're going to a licensed livery that's been inspected by the sheriff's office. A lot of times people go online, they rent a boat from a private party. It's not a registered boat that's licensed by the state to be rented. Those boats that are licensed are inspected by the sheriff's office for
Hmm.
safety. And the year before last, I think we took 7 boats out of service in our county that were unsafe. We closed down 6 illegal liveries that were operating
Wow.
without safety to the public. Several of these crafts were not water worthy, seaworthy to be out there. So those are things that the public should just take in mind
Hmm.
when renting boats and things like that.
Oh no, no, you were spot on with that. I would just imagine not everyone who's out there on a boat owns that boat. So I would imagine there's a certain significant portion who are renting boats and could possibly be a little bit more careless with them also with that being said. So great key points right there. That's pretty much everything I have. Do any other information for the community regarding that we may have not discussed or just people want to get information from you or anything like that you want to give out, please, Lieutenant?
Yeah, the one thing, we want to make sure people know is that the sheriff's office is available 24/7 for questions, things of that nature. We always are willing to come out to an association, talk about boater safety, but when our deputies are out on the water, we love interacting with the public. If the public has a question for us, please stop one of the deputies. We absolutely love having positive interactions with people. And if you got a question, you don't know something, you're unsure of something, or even at the boat launch, we have some of our officers there. If it's your first time launching a boat and you're not sure on something, we're always approachable and we
Yeah.
want to be there to make sure you have a safe summer.
Absolutely. Hey, you hit it right on the nail. Thank you so much for opening up, letting people know that you are a resource. They can come and see you if they need to. Make sure they are being proactive instead of reactive. Thank you again, Lieutenant Brian Burwell, Specialized Units Patrol Services Division for the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. We appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you for having us. Appreciate you.